Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. Before we read, let's invoke the blessing of the Lord. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhayeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Ishvara Parama Krishnaha Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govindaha सर्व कारण कारणम। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So we have been reading from the book Trinadapi Sunichena by Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, and we are at the chapter Prema Rasa, the loving mellow. Section Develop greed for sadhu sangha. One should develop such greed. How can I associate more and more with a sadhu? Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, and all exalted personalities have asked only for this. O Lord, please give us sadhu sangha. The Prechetas also asked for that boon when Lord Vishnu offered, what benediction do you want? They said, Tulyama lavenapi na swargam na punar bhavam bhagavat sangi sangasya mrityanam kim utitsiha. Even a moment's association with pure devotee cannot be compared to being transferred to heavenly planets or even merging into Brahman effulgence in complete liberation. For living entities who are destined to give up the body and die, association with pure devotees is the highest benediction. We are residents of this Mrityapura, this earth planet of birth and death. What boon is there for us? The only boon is sadhu sangha. There is no other boon. Even one moment's association with such a sadhu cannot be compared to the attainment of heavenly opulence or liberation. By having sadhu sangha, you achieve everything. You will develop pure bhakti, and thereby you will get Krishna. This is the only greed that should be developed. Then Krishna, who is there in your heart, will fulfill your desire. Sadhu Sange Krishna Nama. साधु संगे कृष्ण नामा ई मात्रा चाही samsara जीनीते आरा कोना वस्तु नाई. Jagdananda Pandit has said, the only requirement is real sadhu sangha and chant the name of Krishna. Thereby, I will be able to cross this dreadful ocean of material existence very easily and go back home, back to Godhead. Nothing else is required. So, this finish this chapter. So, actually, we finished this book because this was the last chapter. After that, uh, there is a author's summary is given. Gorgund Swami Maharaj summary is given. But I think we should read this also. So let's read it. About the author. Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami appeared in this world on 2nd September 1929 in the village of Jagannathpura in the Indian state of Orissa. Both the paternal and maternal sides of his family have been Vaishnavas for hundreds of years. dating back to the time of Shamananda Prabhu. And prior to that, in Midnapur, which is now part of Bengal for many, many centuries. His divine appearance was not like the birth of an ordinary being. He came to this world solely to fulfill the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tattva Vichar. Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami dedicated his whole life to preaching the absolute consideration of Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, Tattva Vichar, and spoke uncompromisingly against the accepting Apara Vichar, the apparent consideration. S- Speaking in his own words, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami said, I'm stressing only Tattva. In all my lectures, I stress this Tattva Vichar. Do you know real Tattva, truth? You are all following the apparent consideration, Apara Vichar, not the Tattva Vichar. That mistake is there. You do not know who you are, who Krishna is, who is your Guru, who is a sadhu, and what relationship is between them. You do not know these tattvas. Next, by Krishna's arrangement. Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami is a disciple of His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society of Krishna Consciousness. By Krishna's arrangement, they met in the sacred land of Sri Vrindavan Dham in 1974. This transcendental meeting has been nicely described by Guna Narvadas in the book Just Try to Learn the Truth. Though they had not met previously, there was immediate recognition between two great souls, Sadguru and Sadshishya. Srila Prabhupada commented on his disciple, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami, saying at different times, Krishna has sent him, and Gaur Govinda Swami is a devotee from birth. Next, three sevas. Srila Prabhupada entrusted Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami with three important sevas, services. Number one, to stay in Odisha and build a temple like the famous temple of Jagannath in Puri, as Odisha is very important place in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela. Number two, to translate Srila Prabhupada's books from English into Odia. Number three, to accept disciples and train them in Krishna consciousness. Upon receiving these instructions from his spiritual master, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Maharaj immediately returned to Odisha and started working earnestly on the plans for what would become the famous Sri Krishna Balaram temple in Bhubaneswar, which Srila Prabhupada famously predicted. This temple will be one of the best ISKCON temples in the world. This place will be the heart of the city. Gaur Govinda Swami also embraced the seva of translating Srila Prabhupada books into Odia as a sacred duty, which he continued every day without fail for the rest of his life. While Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Maharaj immediately began to execute the first two instructions given by his spiritual master, the third and final instruction he received from Srila Prabhupada was to prove more difficult to carry out. After many years, he very hesitantly took on the role of being a spiritual master himself, as he understood the position of Guru was a very heavy responsibility. Next, Lord Jagannatha is in Bhubaneswar. Srila Prabhupada had accepted many Western disciples and taught them the glories of Purushottama Kshetra, Jagannath Puri Dham, where Mahaprabhu performed many pastimes in 18 years. He resided there. However, when Srila Prabhupada's disciples went to visit Jagannath Puri, they were refused entrance to the famous temple of Lord Jagannath because they were considered foreigners and not Hindus. Srila Prabhupada said, I will build a temple in Bhubaneswar like the temple of Jagannath in Puri. Because my Western disciples are not allowed there, Lord Jagannath will come and stay in Bhubaneswar. So all my disciples can go there and have his darshan. Srila Prabhupada, who had been donated land in Bhubaneswar instructed Gaur Govinda Swami to stay on the land and build a temple. He entrusted to Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami the mission of establishing ISKCON in Odisha, the most important place of Mahaprabhu's pastimes, and told him, Gaur Govind, you will take me to Odisha. Next, under extreme conditions, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami returned to Odisha and stayed on ISKCON land near Nayapalli village in Bhubaneswar under the most extreme and austere circumstances. There were no facilities at all on the land, no shelter, no building, no running water, no toilet, no electricity, no telephone, no nothing. To take bath, one would have to go far off paddock where there was a pump and take bath from that pump. The only light available for reading and writing in the early hours of morning and late in the evening came from a castor oil lamp. Wild bears, tigers, and elephants would wander the area, which was also frequented by dacoits, thieves. On Ekadasi, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Maharaj would fast and chant the whole Bhagavad Gita. On other days, he would recite one chapter of Bhagavad Gita. He would often walk up to 20 kilometers a day to collect donations to build the temple, print literature, and to buy foodstuff to prepare an offer to the Lord. Next, 17 days. Srila Prabhupada visited Bhubaneswar in 1977 and stayed for 17 days on his ISKCON property in the mud hut, which had been constructed for him by Gaur Govinda Swami. On 2nd February 1977, auspicious appearance day of Lord Nityananda, Srila Prabhupada laid the foundation stone of Sri Sri Krishna Balaram Mandir. This temple in Bhubaneswar was to be Srila Prabhupada's last founded project. Next, instruction fulfilled. After 16 years of determined endeavor and with practically no outside help in one of the poorest regions of India, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami fulfilled the instruction of his most beloved spiritual master when the magnificent Sri Sri Krishna Balaram Mandir was inaugurated in Bhubaneswar in 1991. Lord Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadra Devi came of their own accord, as Srila Prabhupada prophesied, and this temple now attracts thousands of people to Krishna consciousness. Next, traveling the world. Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami spent many years traveling the world preaching Krishna consciousness. His travel took him to Europe, North America, South America, Canada, Africa, Mauritius, Australia, Asia, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Bali, Caribbean, Guyana, Suriname, Trinidad, and he preached vigorously throughout the Indian subcontinent, especially in the state of Odisha, where he notably constructed the glorious temples of Sri Sri Krishna Balaram, Sri Sri Radha Gopinath, and Sri Sri Radha Gopal Ji. Spellbound, wherever he went, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami would leave his audience spellbound by his dynamic presentation of the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. He would often speak for up to 4 hours at a time on the topics about Krishna, leaving his audience enchanted and always eager to hear more. On the occasion, he would speak on a single verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, both morning and evening for 7 days. There was no question put to him that he could not answer, and hearing from Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami on a regular basis would melt even the hardest heart, convincing one to seriously take to the path of Bhakti Yoga. Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami was an expert in his understanding of the Shastras and from the depth of his conviction was able to dispel the doubts Sarv Samasya Samcheta of those who came to him for spiritual guidance by the depth of his spiritual conviction. He would place great importance on chanting, encouraging, and inspiring everyone to chant the holy name of Krishna without offense, to chant the pure name, and thereby achieve the goal of life to get Krishna and develop Krishna Prem in this very life. So, due to two more small paragraph, and this book is finished. So, let's finish it today. Next, Sri Kshetra, Jagannath Puri, Bhuvaneshwar Dham. One of the most important aspects of Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj's preaching was to reveal the innermost secrets of Puri Bhuvaneshwar Dham of Lord Jagannath and reason why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed in Jagannath Puri. He gave the most subtle and clear understanding of Lord's pastime in Jagannath Puri and why Bhuvaneshwar is so important for the Gaudiya Vaishnava community. Next, storehouse of knowledge. While astrologers predicted that he would live up to the age of 90 and deliver many conditioned souls, Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami left this world by his own volition. And while speaking Krishna Katha on February 9, 1996 in Sri Mayapur Dham, on the holy appearance day of Sri Bhakti Vedant, Bhakti, on the holy appearance day of Srila Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Ji Thakur Prabhupada, he left behind a veritable storehouse of knowledge concerning the truth about Jiva, Maya, and absolute truth, Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Many of his lectures and talks were recorded at the time on audio and video, and many of these are now available on internet on CD, DVD, or MP3 formats, as well as in numerous books published by his disciples and followers. To gain a greater understanding of the life of Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami, we suggest reading the authorized biography Krishna Lingita Vigraha, one who is always embraced by Sri Krishna. For a brief but in-depth look at the life of Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Swami, we recommend the booklets Gaur Govinda Swami, Who Was He? Both of these titles have been published by Tattva Vichar publication and are available from tvpbooks.com. Readers interested in the subject matter of this book are invited to correspond with the publisher. So you can visit issuu.com/tvpbooks for e-booklets download. Shila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj ki jai. So this finished this book, Trinadapi Sunichena, and yesterday when Mataji was asked where you can buy this book, so they have given the website tvpbooks.com, or you can refer the local ISKCON temple. So, so we finished this book, Trinadapi Sunichena by Shila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj. Shila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj ki jai. So now,
Hare Krishna. I ordered it on Amazon.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, I ordered it on Amazon. I just ordered it when you told the name on Amazon.
Okay. And
So that's another option.
okay, Amazon. Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah,
No.
you can buy this book on Amazon, but I found this book is very good. This book can be read multiple times. So, uh, very, very nice book.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. So now we'll read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Satswarup Das Goswami Maharaj ki jai. So tomorrow we will see if we can read another book or we'll continue Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. We will check. All right. So let's start reading this. When Srila Prabhupada did not have specific engagements in Denver, a few of his men sometimes gathered in his room. Occasionally, he would provoke some of them into a mock debate with him. Srila Prabhupada, everything must come from something. No one can deny that. Now we give our challenge. Do you know what that absolute truth is? Brahmananda. We know there is absolute truth, but at this time we cannot directly say what it is. Prabhupada immediately replied, if a person admits not knowing the absolute truth, then that person has no grounds for rejecting Vedic explanation of the absolute. That person cannot deny Krishna is the absolute truth. If you do not know the philosophy, Prabhupada said, then you must agree to hear from an authority who does. Satsaru. Yes, that argument is logical, and we should at least listen to you. But we have heard so many versions of truth. Why should we accept your version? Prabhupada. That is like saying, I have come across so many counterfeit coins. Why should I think there are real coins? There are counterfeit coins, and there must also be genuine coins. It is our misfortune if we are unable to distinguish the real coins from the counterfeit coins. Another sannyasi challenged that Krishna conscious version was dogmatic, since there were many truths and many gods, but the absolute truth is one. Srila Prabhupada replied, because God is one, God has no competitors. If a person does not accept Krishna as God, then he has to present someone who is more fully God than Krishna. But if someone does not know who's God, then that person cannot deny Krishna. If you speak that way, Prabhupada continued, then you are being dogmatic. You do not know what God is. Yet dogmatically, you are saying that Krishna is not God. Prabhupada compared those who deny the supremacy of Krishna to owls who do not open their eyes to see the sunlight. Such persons demand to see God, but when God comes before them personally or when he sends his pure representative, they will not see. On another morning walk in Denver, Tamal Krishna Goswami told Prabhupada that some of the devotees were reading books about health diets and were avoiding prasadam offered to the deity in the temple. Srila Prabhupada immediately replied that this was not good. Fasting, he acknowledged, was good for health, but devotees should not become weak. They should take prasadam and do their work. When one of the devotees told Prabhupada he got drowsy after eating heavily of grains and thereby preferred fruits, Prabhupada said that was all right. Fruits are offered to the deity. When Yadupara said that in Los Angeles, families often cooked in their own homes instead of taking the prasadam of the deity. Bhavananda Goswami testified how wonderful it was at the Mayapur festival when hundreds of devotees sat down and took prasadam together. Prabhupada, yes, what is the difficulty? Chapatis, rice, they are all innocent foods. What is the difficulty? Rishikesha, a lot of devotees are quoting you. They say there is no need to eat grains and that you said the grains were for animals. Prabhupada, but I am eating grains. Rishikesha, I tell them that. Prabhupada, they say Prabhupada says, then you believe that. Prabhupada said that devotees should not listen to health advice if it resulted in their refusing to honor Lord's prasadam. Prabhupada, therefore, follow taking prasadam, let whatever may happen. Tamal Krishna, let us die eating prasadam. Prabhupada, yes, laughter. That is devotee. But we must prepare very first class food stuff. And then where is the complaint if it is first class? Returning from the walk, Srila Prabhupada continued to discuss the topic in Srimad Bhagavatam class. I was hearing that we are not taking prasadam, especially grihasthas. No, that is not good. You should take prasadam. Prabhupada described how Bhakti Yoga begin with controlling the tongue by chanting and eating Krishna prasadam. So in our branches, he continued, all the devotees take prasadam together. That is nice. Why we should not be liking to take prasadam in the temple? What is the fault? No, this is not good. Everyone should take prasadam. It is called prasada seva service, not prasadam enjoyment. Prasadam means giving service. Prasadam is as good as Krishna and should be respected as good as Krishna. So one must have faith that it is not material. Those who are attached to Krishna conscious movement and are attached to the service, they should take prasadam, first class prasadam. Everyone liked the taste of prasadam. Next, July 2nd, 1975. On the plane from Denver to Chicago, Prabhupada scanned a Time magazine essay on crime, a cover story entitled Crime, Why and What to Do. Landing on at O'Hare Airport, he was greeted by hundreds of cheering devotees and press. Your Divine Grace, Sri Govinda, the Chicago Temple president, said, pushing forward, this is Mr. Jones from NBC Television. How do you do? Smiled Mr. Jones, and several other reporters held microphones before Prabhupada. I would like to know what the occasion is. Why are you visiting Chicago? Just now I have seen one article in Time magazine, Srila Prabhupada replied. He raised his right hand in an instructing gesture and leaned against the cane he held in his left hand. It was 4 or 5 pages, he continued. Crime, why and how to solve it. If you are serious, then you can take our method and suggestion, and then you can stop this crime. You have a way to stop the crime. Oh, yes, I have. Can you explain a little bit more? How do you do it? Srila Prabhupada nodded. That we have to suggest. Social, political, educational, cultural, and everything has to be changed. So if you come, we can give you in detail how it can be done. Miss Miss Jones dropped the issue and asked Prabhupada how he felt about his welcome. She seemed unnerved by the devotees crowding around to see and hear Srila Prabhupada. By God's grace, Srila Prabhupada said, wherever I go, they welcome me like that. Miss Jones, are you used to do anything a bit more serene? Serene? Prabhupada thoughtfully considered the word as they all stood together in the midst of the noisy, heavy trafficked airport. Of course, our whole propaganda is serene. He said, yes, we are distributing God consciousness. It is the most serene movement. People have to learn it very nicely. Thank you, said Miss Jones. She had gotten enough. But Prabhupada added a last word. My message is to stop the crimes of your country. This is my sum and substance. You have read the article in Time magazine, Crime and How to Stop It. So if you take my advice, that can be stopped. The world is simply full of criminals. Prabhupada continued, sitting in the back seat of the car as they pulled away from the airport's entrance. Crime means papi, sinful. To Srila Prabhupada, it seemed to make no difference that he was sitting in a car with a few disciples and not speaking with the press. If simply by law you want to suppress them, it will not be successful. Deliver them. Then you also come along with them. Not that these criminals not only should be delivered, you will go on continuing with criminal activities, slaughterhouse, and killing the child in the womb. You are criminal yourself, the whole state. Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada sat waiting for his massage to begin. His regular daily schedule was to take a massage at 11:30 a.m. before bathing and taking prasadam. But today, because of his plane travel, his routine was interrupted. Nevertheless, he wanted to follow his general program as far as possible. Upendra was getting mustard oil and the mat for Srila Prabhupada to sit on. So we can solve this, Prabhupada said to the few disciples with him. Why not invite them to hear us? How can we solve? We can arrange big meetings on this point. Crime, why and what to do. A very suitable headline it is. Prabhupada continued to develop a Krishna conscious analysis of crime. As long as society violates the law of nature, he said, there must be crime. He thought it significant that, according to the Time article, the leaders of the country were actually wondering what to do about increasing crime rate and that they were admitting they did not know the solution. Now he said, our business is to give the solution to these leaders if they actually want the welfare of the country. All the problems could be solved by Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada had often said, now he was eager to tackle the particular problem of crime. America's leaders were admitting their bewilderment, and if they were actually sincere, then they might accept the Krishna conscious solution. Prabhupada was keen to preach to the government leaders. Krishna consciousness was meant for especially for them. Bhagavad Gita stated that Raja Rishis or saintly kings should disseminate the teachings of Gita to the citizens. But were the leaders actually serious? Srila Prabhupada wondered. He was serious, and he anticipated the special opportunity that might arise here in Chicago to preach to the leaders about ending crime. While sitting with a group of disciples in his room, Srila Prabhupada asked for a particular Bhagavatam verse to be read, and he gave the opening Sanskrit, Kamasya Nendriya Priti. Rishikesa said, a completely bewildered material civilization is wrongly directed towards the fulfillment of desires in sense gratification. In such civilization, in all spheres of life, the ultimate end is self sense gratification. In politics, social service, altruism, philanthropy, and ultimately in religion or even in salvation, the very same tint of sense gratification is ever increasingly predominant. In the political field, leaders of men fight with one another to fulfill their personal sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada interrupted. Now in India, this is happening. All these things are foreseen. I have already discussed all this in the purport. Then Rishikesha continued reading. The voters adore the so called leaders only when they promise sense gratification. As soon as the voters are dissatisfied in their own sense satisfaction, they dethrone the leaders. The leaders must always dissatisfy the voters by not satisfying their senses. Again, Prabhupada interrupted. There are protest meetings and processions, but nobody will be able to satisfy them because they do not know how to keep the mass of people satisfied. These rascals they do not know. I have always said that they are rascals. Now they ask what to do. They will face so many problems. What to do? This is the beginning. The whole world will be in chaos if they do not take to Krishna consciousness. So many what to do will come. Just tell them that here is the remedy. Now it is time for preaching. They are thinking, they are sleeping, but now they are thinking what to do. They are blindly following sense gratification, and now it has come to the stage of what to do. This is the opportunity for preaching. We are only persons who can give solution. There is no other group or any man in the world. We are only. So let them take advantage of our knowledge and apply. Now all the sannyasis have got good opportunity to preach. The ISKCON temple was in Chicago suburb of Evanston, and on July 4th, the day after Prabhupada's arrival, Edgar Veneman Jr., mayor of Evanston, came to visit Prabhupada in his apartment. Immediately, Prabhupada referred to the Time news article on crime. The remedy, he said. is to train first class men. He told the mayor briefly of Vedic society's four natural divisions, pointing out that society had become so degraded that everyone is in fourth class and lowest class and sinking. The only hope was to train some first class and second class men. We certainly need a new approach, admitted Mayor Menman, because we are not being successful now. After less than half an hour's conversation, Srila Prabhupada was ready to make a bold request. Previously, Jagdisha, the GBC secretary for Chicago, had mentioned that a very large municipally owned building across the street was vacant. Srila Prabhupada decided to ask Mayor to donate it. Already he had explained to Mayor that Krishna consciousness could stop crime and drug addiction, and he now asked Rishikesha to read a letter by Dr. Stilson Judah, an author of Hare Krishna and Counterculture. In the letter, Dr. Judah appreciated Krishna consciousness for transforming lives from drug addicted hippies to loving servants of Krishna and humanity. So we can stop this, provided we are given the facility to work on, said Prabhupada. When Mayor replied yes, Srila Prabhupada made his request. So I was thinking, Prabhupada said, just in front of here there is a very nice house, Marywood, a big house. You have the knowledge about this house. Mayor replied that this building was to be the new city hall of Evanston. Srila Prabhupada had not been told about this, and he hesitated. While Mayor spoke of how city's offices scattered for so long in nine different locations could now all together in this one building. But this is more important, Prabhupada said. City service is going on, but criminals are increasing. So why not give us a little opportunity? Mayor Weinman explained politely that he would have to talk with city manager, tactfully excusing himself from the commitment. Let's finish this section. If we get a good place, Prabhupada continued, with cooperation of authorities, then our simple program is our Professor Judah has remarked to turn our drug addicted hippies into devotees. We shall invite everyone to come and chant Hare Krishna mantra and take prasadam. I began this movement in New York alone, and these boys gradually came to me. But my process was this chanting and giving them prasadam. Everyone will be glad to accept it. They will read these books. These devotees here are practical examples. I am a poor Indian. I did not bribe them. Neither have I any money. Prabhupada laughed. So now they have dedicated their lives for this purpose. So I want to do it on a large scale. But there were practical alternatives. Perhaps Prabhupada suggested Krishna conscious movement could use part of the building for a year. He continued describing efficacy of Krishna consciousness, but Mayer had little else to say. Prabhupada had prasadam brought in and asked his guest if he had any further inquiry. No, I really don't think I do, Mayor Wenman replied. But I think I would like to learn more about your movement, and I have enjoyed talking and listening to you, and I appreciate it. After Mayer left, one of the Prabhupada disciples questioned why they would want such a big building. Chicago temple was large and not at all crowded. My idea, Prabhupada said, I want to draw the attention of authorities. If they cooperate, then we can push on our movement more vigorously. But with our present location here, we cannot. A devotee asked. We are doing it on a small scale, Prabhupada explained. It is going on, but if we get support from authorities, we can push on in larger scale. So we'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Sar Swarup Das Goswami Maharaj ki jai. So anybody has any question, comments, chastisement, correction before we continue chanting? We read little extra because we wanted to cover Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj biography mentioned at the back. He has given us this gift of book. All right. So if there's no question, we'll stop here. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः. Anand Koti Vaishnav ki jai. So thank you, devotee, listening to me, and please forgive me if I have not read properly.